ASU threatens strike, issues 14-day ultimatum to federal government. House of Reps schedules Q4 2024 Legislative Security Summit. Kano Court bars 19 political parties from halting election. On the foreign scene, Israel intercepts Hezbollah missiles aimed at Mossad headquarters. It's the news update on Trust TV. Hello and welcome. I am Aisha Salihu. The news in detail. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has issued a 14-day strike warning ultimatum to the federal government to resolve some lingering issues dating as far back as 2009. ASU President Emmanuel Shodeke, in a statement issued on Wednesday, said the body is seeking the conclusion of the renegotiation of the 2009 FGN and ASU agreement based on the NIMI Briggs Committee draft agreement of 2021. It also demanded the release of withheld salaries due to the 2022 strike action and expressed frustration with the government's lack of commitment and delay tactics. It stated that these actions were generating a crisis in the public university system. It added that it wants funding for the revitalization of public universities, partly captured in the 2023 federal government budget, and the payment of earned academic allowances, partly captured in the 2023 federal government budget. Other issues include the proliferation of universities by federal and state governments, the implementation of the reports of visitation panels to universities, the reversal of the legal dissolution of governing councils, and the adoption of the University Transparency and Accountability Solution as a replacement for IPPIS. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has asked United Nations to prioritize debt forgiveness from creditors and multilateral financial institutions for Nigeria and other developing countries. President Tinubu, who is the chairman of the Authority of Heads of States and Government of the Economic Community of West African States, made the call while addressing world leaders during the general debate of the ongoing 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly at the UN headquarters in New York, United States. Represented by his deputy Vice President Kashim Shettima at the high-level annual global event, the president asked for debt relief to enable developing countries to focus on developmental projects for their citizens. He called on world leaders to recommit themselves to multilateralism by deepening relations among member states of the UN in line with the principles of inclusivity, equality, and cooperation. This, he said, is the surest guarantee of global action against existential challenges faced by the international community.
This in Nigeria, when on 12th June this year, we celebrated a quarter of a century of unbroken democratic rule. We are no less proud of this achievement than the fact that during the last 2 decades, a sustained process of democratization has swept over Africa. However, the return of unconstitutional changes of government and forceful military takeovers in some countries of the Sahel underscore the fragility of democracy when it is not backed by economic development and sustained peace and security. It is this fragility, rather than the milestone that democratic governance has achieved in Africa, that should matter most in our deliberations at this and other high-level segments of the 79th session of the General Assembly. While we are for all possible changes of government, we can also recognize the impatience in cities and villages as a sometimes slow and grinding turn of the wheel of democracy.
The House of Representatives says it will hold a Legislative Security Summit in the last quarter of the year. The Speaker, Abbas Tajuddin, disclosed this while welcoming lawmakers from their annual recess. The Speaker said legislative reforms that could improve interagency collaboration and improved use of technology to combat insecurity would be prioritized in the remaining session of the 10th House. According to the Speaker, The Electoral Offences Commission Bill is one of the bills that will receive priority attention in the remaining life of the 10th House, Abbas sympathized with victims of flooding occasioned by climate change and assured that the House will improve legislation aimed at addressing environmental challenges, including the Disaster Relief Bill. Meanwhile, the Nigerian security forces have killed another notorious bandit leader, Kachala Makore, along with several of his fighters. This was made known on Wednesday by Zagazola Makama, a Lake Chad Basin counterterrorism and insurgency expert, in a post on his X handle. Makama disclosed that the operation took place on Sunday along the Kwankele Road in the Magami area of Gusau local government area in Zamfara state. The security expert explained that Makore and his men were reportedly en route to recover the body of fellow bandit leader Kachala Sani Black, who had been killed earlier in the Dan Sadao area of Maru local government area. He stated that Sani Black was neutralized in Magama Main Rake, a known notorious hotspot for banditry. Still on security matters, the Anambra State Police Command has arrested 2 suspects and recovered a large quantity of gunpowder concealed in a bag of gari. 1 locally made pistol and live ammunition were also recovered during the operation, according to a statement by its police public relations officer, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, on Wednesday. The command said the feat was achieved when its police-led joint security force was on an intelligence-driven routine patrol along the Pillar Pole area of Agotor on Sunday. The command said it had intercepted a suspect carrying 3 bags of gari, adding that upon search of the suspect, it discovered beneath the gari a large quantity of gunpowder. Preliminary information revealed that the suspect was en route to a criminal camp to deliver groceries for consumption and gunpowder for the production of improvised explosives for the gang. The suspect is currently in custody and assisting the police to arrest the other gang members. A Kano State High Court has issued an interim injunction restraining 19 political parties from taking any actions to stop the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission from conducting local government elections in the state. The parties were also restrained from organizing and conducting the upcoming local government elections. The presiding judge, Justice Sunusi Adomaji, delivered the ruling on Tuesday following a motion ex parte filed on September 20 by the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission, the plaintiff in this suit. The defendants in the case include the Accord Party, Action Alliance, Labour Party, New Nigeria People's Party, People's Democratic Party, and several other political parties. In the ruling, the judge granted Kansiak an interim injunction restraining the parties from taking any actions that would impede the plaintiff's statutory duties to organize, conduct, regulate, and supervise the local government election in Kano State, pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. Justice Maji also prohibited the defendants, including their agents and privys, from performing any acts that could disrupt Kansiak's efforts to oversee the elections. The case has been adjourned until October 10 for the hearing of the motion of notice. But in Abuja, Justice Emeka Wite of the Federal High Court has adjourned the alleged money laundering case filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission against the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, until October 30, 2024. The adjournment came as Bello moves to the Supreme Court to file an appeal seeking to set aside the arrest warrant issued by the trial court on April 17. At the day's proceedings, counsel to Bello, A.M. Adoyi, drew the court's attention to the fact that the issue of arraignment of the defendant was the subject matter of an appeal already entered by him at the Supreme Court. He said he would like to draw the court's attention to the appeal by virtue of the affidavit of record filed on September 23. adding that the appropriate thing to do was to wait for the decision of the Supreme Court in the aforesaid appeal before taking any step for arraignment, so as not to render the appellant's appeal null or to pull the rug out of the feet of the Supreme Court. Counsel for the EFCC and Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Kemi Pinero, however, told the court that the defendant's counsel were turning the court into a place for entertainment. He added that an appeal that the defendant filed at the Court of Appeal disrupting the mode of service of the charge and proof of evidence on their counsel was dismissed by the Court of Appeal on 28th of August this year. Managers of petrol stations in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, are reporting a significant drop in patronage following the recent hike in the price of petrol. Checks around the city center reveal that there is a lull in business at most of the fueling stations, save for the government-owned NNPCL mega stations, due to a slight reduction in the price of the product. Let's take a look at the report.
A visit to the Jalingo main motor park reveals that services have drastically reduced with few vehicles loading, a situation which indicates that the number of travelers have reduced significantly. A park manager, Muhammad Umar, said although they have increased prices for trips, the increase is not comparable to the present increase in price of PMS. He added that drivers are complaining that the increase in fares is not reflective of the present-day economic realities, adding that they are not able to meet their daily targets.
Alkasari ita gwamnati ba wai tana considering mutane game da wansu.
We have spent 2 days under that bridge. We have spent all the money we realized from the passengers on 4 because we got to Numa before realizing that the road was cut off. So we have to go back to Bugu and Kwaya to get here. Another passenger is willing to pay additional money.
Some drivers and road union workers also expressed worry over the current situation, saying transport fare from Jalingo to Gombe is now 9,000 naira against the previous price of 6,000 naira, while Bauchi is 13,000 naira as against 8,000 naira before the recent increase in the price of PMS.
Madadin kudin da zaka dan samu ka je ka ci abinci da shi zaka ƙara mai.
Right now, we barely load a single car in a week, unlike before that we used to load almost 6 cars a day.
Baya ne sosai game da transport da yake tafiya a cikin tasha nan sosai. Don yanzu haka muna iya kwana.
I am traveling from Taraba to Bauchi, but there are no vehicles available due to the high cost of fuel, so I have to pass through Gombe before getting a car to Bauchi.
When you travel to the journey and come back, there will be any income, no profits. All what you have gotten, the fuel will now take it away because of the high price of the fuel.
Before we were paying passenger from here to Lagos was 25,000, but right now we are paying 35,000. And again, before our vehicle will be moving here, we're moving 4, 5, 6, but right now our vehicle cannot move even 2. Only 1. So we are picking challenges from many calibers of ways. Even our road like this, our main roads, if you can go to one of after Jalingo to this place, the bridge has cut. So that bridge too, if you come there, canoe where we pay and we cross you, we collect 6,000 naira.
Some of the commuters expressed dissatisfaction with the situation, stressing that they spent almost 24 hours just from Jalingo to Gombe due to the hike in price of the fuel.
I am traveling from a Hula Bali local government, which cost me 4,000 naira from Jalingo to Gombe. I paid 9,000 naira before. I used to pay 6,000 naira from here to Gombe, and from Bali to Jalingo was 2,500 naira to 3,000 naira. Our major challenge is delay. We set out for this journey since 10 o'clock, and now it's after 2, and we are still in Jalingo. Our drivers here have been lamenting that the amount we added is not enough, but we ask them to be patient and make do with the little they have for now. We collect 7,500 naira before from here to Gombe, but now we added just 1,000 naira, making it 8,500.
The union, road users and commuters all call on government to address the situation.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration has begun moves to review the Abuja Master Plan 48 years after it was created. Abuja was adopted as Nigeria's new Federal Capital Territory in 1976. The revelation was made on Tuesday when the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, played host to the Ambassador of Japan to Nigeria, Matsunaga Kazuyoshi, in his office. Ambassador Kazuyoshi had led a delegation of Japan International Cooperation Agency to the FCT Minister to discuss plans for commencement of work on the upgrading of Integrated Urban Development Master Plan of Abuja, as well as seek the minister's support on key JICA projects, including its nutrition improvement. Commenting on the urban development plans, the minister applied continued support of the FCTA and that of the Departments of Satellite Towns Development and Land Administration, among other relevant bodies, for a successful master plan review. Executive Secretary, Federal Capital Development Authority, Shehu Hadi Ahmed, whose agency is in charge of the master plan, explained that the planned project would look into issues around water drainages, urban mobility, traffic congestion, and the Smart City initiative, among others. The National Insurance Commission has vowed to ensure that insurance companies fully pay those they are committed in order to bring sanity to the sector. Speaking on the sidelines of an event in Lagos, NICOM said the move became imperative following several complaints from Nigerians that insurance companies are not living up to their obligations. Victoria Tokolo has more.
In a bid to protect stakeholders and ensure a more efficient insurance industry, the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, says it is working to ensure that insurance companies prioritize prompt payment of genuine claims. As a follow-up to the above commitments, insurance experts in Lagos have been weighing in on the potential impact of this initiative on the industry and the wider public.
There is going to be increase in penetration, and the GDP is going to increase as well. The current government is looking at how to increase our GDP, how to contribute more to the overall growth of the nation as a financial institution.
Now, NICOM is doing what we call housekeeping. In every home, you do your housekeeping either every day or every week. You want to clean the house. We should not say NICOM should not clean the house. If while you are in business is to pay claims, then why are you not paying the claims? Haven't collected premium. NICOM is not doing the asset man thing. NICOM want to sanitize the industry. And the best way to sanitize the industry is to make the policy holders happy.
On the streets of Lagos, Nigerians have also expressed their opinions the move by the insurance regulatory body, NICOM.
NICOM, please do something good that people will trust you. You understand me? I am 82 years an age man, so that is why I don't want to join any insurance again, because I don't trust them.
Many people that are saving their money in the insurance company is their life savings, and these savings are made for years of their service. But when you leave a place of job, maybe you are being retired, that is the hope of the common man, that when you are being retired, this is what you fall on.
Encourage you to invest more in insurance business, which I think is like a last resource when you are down, that you can easily fall back to, based on the agreement you had with them before going into it.
This move by NICOM is seen as a significant step towards ensuring that all insurance companies in Nigeria prioritize their client need and provide timely claim payments, as it will promote a more trustworthy and efficient insurance industry in the country.
The Take It Back movement has proposed a virtual meeting with the Lagos State Police Command, citing logistical difficulties for an in-person meeting. The proposal was outlined in a letter sent to the Assistant Commissioner of Police, State Intelligence Department, Jayoba Joseph. by the legal representatives of the group in Ibehe Effiong chambers on Wednesday. The police had, in a Tuesday letter, invited key members of the TIB, including its national coordinator, Sanyaolu Juwon, to meet with the new Commissioner of Police, Olarinwaju Ishola, to discuss issues of national interest. Sources within the organization expressed concerns that a physical meeting could be a ploy to arrest them. However, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Benjamin Hundain, who confirmed the invitation on Tuesday, stressed that the meeting would be friendly, saying police had no intention of arresting anyone. The police also confirmed that the planned October protest would be part of the discussion. Meanwhile, according to the letter from the movement solicitors, it was stated that several executive members were outside Lagos and could not travel down for a physical meeting. Still in Lagos State, as the 2024 and 2025 academic year begins in Lagos State, the Agege Local Government Council has taken steps to ease the financial burden on parents by distributing exercise books to pupils and students within the local government area. Victoria Tokolo has more in this report.
The distribution of the writing materials is to support pupils and students in their studies and alleviate the financial burden of their parents. The local government chairman, Alhaji Ganiyu Kola Ngujobi, speaks on the maintenance of primary and secondary schools under the government jurisdiction in Agege.
It's a thing of maintenance. Maybe when you go there this year, this one will be better, this one will... But we make sure with the environmental department, health department of the local government, they give us, and the education, they give us constant report about this, and we do what is necessary to do at their convenience area, I mean the toilet area.
The distribution of writing materials to all government schools in Agege was also extended to the inclusive unit for children with special needs at the Amasoma Primary School, which caters for physically challenged pupils. The headmasters and headmistresses commended the government for their kind gestures.
Those that are present today, there are about 200 plus that are able, they were given these exercises, and each take eight exercises for each student, each pupils.
Good initiative for our children, most especially for those parents that cannot afford to give necessary materials to their kids. I think it's a good initiative.
So we are very, very happy because some of these children, they don't have books. Their parents were unable to buy books for them. So we have been expecting you, and we thank God that you did not fail us.
We should make sure we do our primary function, which is to secure lives and property, and the primary school education fall under the local government and the health, that we should do what we are assigned to do.
Considering the current challenging economic condition in the country, parents are encouraged to go beyond providing school materials and food, as children also need proper health care to strive both academically and physically.
On the foreign scene, the Israeli military on Wednesday said it was the first time ever a missile fired by Hezbollah had reached the Tel Aviv area before being intercepted by air defenses. It is the first time the group has claimed a ballistic missile strike since its nearly year-long battle with Israel began after Hamas carried out its October 7 attack. It also said the strike was carried out in support of the people of Gaza and in defense of Lebanon and its people. Hezbollah said it had fired a ballistic missile targeting Israeli spy agency Mossad's headquarters near Tel Aviv, saying that recent attacks on the militant group had been planned there. Military analyst Riyad Kahwaji said it was the first time Hezbollah had fired ballistic missiles at Israel, adding that they were Iranian-produced. Longtime foes Hezbollah and Israel have been locked in near-daily exchanges of cross-border fire since Palestinian militant group Hamas launched an unprecedented attack on Israel on October 7. And in sports, Manchester City on Wednesday confirmed that Rodri suffered ligament damage to his right knee during their weekend clash against Arsenal, although the full extent of the injury is unclear. The midfielder has been in Spain this week, consulting specialists after limping off midway through the first half of the match at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday after a collision with Thomas Partey. The statement added that assessment remains ongoing to ascertain the full extent of the injury and expected prognosis. There is no timescale on his recovery, but speaking after his team's 2-1 League Cup win against Watford on Tuesday, City boss Pep Guardiola said Rodri would be out for a long time. Reports earlier this week said the influential 28-year-old Spain international could miss the rest of the season. Rodri's loss will be a huge blow to City's hopes of winning a 5th consecutive Premier League title and ambitions of reclaiming the Champions League crown. And that brings us to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentaries. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again.